Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we have some new confirmations for WWE 2K23, including new details on the changes to Universe Mode, reasons behind arena choices in War Games, and confirmation of several Easter eggs in the 2K showcase. Before we get to any of that though, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on WWE 2K23, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's start out with some new information that comes direct from the developers, as on Wednesday I was invited to take part in a special Zoom interview with the development team, including Creative Director Lynell Jinks, Associate Gameplay Producer Bryan and Lead Gameplay Designer Donahue. One of the first questions to come up was in regards to MyFaction and whether or not Superstars unlocked in the mode will be available in other game modes, as 2K22 seen various updates that added new Superstars and new attires to MyFaction, though none of those Superstars were available in the main game modes. Answering the question, Jinx noted that it was hard for them to allow MyFaction stars to appear in the main game, as MyFaction is being developed by a smaller team and therefore they don't have the resources needed to make those stars playable in the base game, as additional items such as attire parts would need to be added to the creation suite so that players could then edit them and update their attires. So unfortunately, based off Jinx' answer, it looks like any superstars or updated attires that get added to MyFaction will once again be exclusive to that mode. After answering the question on MyFaction, a lot of the remaining interview was spent answering questions from members of the press surrounding the addition of War Games and how that mode came about. Therefore, staying on topic, I asked the question of whether or not we'd be able to use ladders in the match, as that's one of a few weapons that had yet to be shown. Answering my question, lead gameplay designer Donahue noted that ladders were one of the only weapons that couldn't be used in the match, as it was said to be a bridge too far, though Derek did go on to note that all of the other handheld weapons could be used, with the exception of the trash can, which appears to be a new addition this year. Derek also went on to confirm that players will be able to customise the weapon wheel in War Games matches, with players who want to fill the rings with tables able to add up to 6 tables to the weapon wheel. As for the new confirmations coming out of the dev call, Bryan revealed one new feature is the addition of new AI sliders, as alongside the general sliders that you see in the options menu, this year 2K have added individual sliders for the superstars. While Bryan didn't share full details on the feature, based on what was said, it appears that players will be able to customise each superstar individually. Therefore, if the options are the same as the gameplay sliders, you'll be able to set things like how long the superstars stay down, how often they reverse, the stamina, recovery, and various other options. So that should be a pretty cool feature, as you could use this to create more challenging opponents or go in the opposite direction and weaken them. So that's the information coming out of the developer call. However, staying with interviews, we have some more information from WWE 2K's Creative Director Lynell Jinks, as fellow YouTuber Phoenix Nitro interviewed Jinks at the recent WWE 2K23 preview event. Phoenix was kind enough to send the interview over early so that I could cover it, but I'm not going to go through all of the details. Instead, I'll link you to his channel in the description so that you can check it out in full, as he also has additional interviews with Associate Producer Bryan, Art Director Christina DM Pham, and Showcase Lead Designer Dino Zacconi. So let's discuss some of the new details coming out of the interview, as Jinx was asked about Universe Mode and he went on to share some new information. According to Jinx, this year the dev team have rewrote the Universe Mode engine so that it now uses the same engine used in MyRise, which in doing so has given the developers access to all of the same tools, hooks and animations that we see in MyRise, meaning this year players should notice a big difference in not only the options available but also the animations. As a result of the changes, one of the new options this year is the ability to assign specific actions before and after matches, as players can select certain cutscenes to play out, such as shaking an opponent's hand or choosing to attack them. Jinx also confirmed that it's possible for each superstar in a match to have their own action assigned, as one player could be set to shake hands with the other, while the opponent is set to attack them. However, only one of those actions can actually play out. To determine which action occurs, Jinx said that this is determined based on elements such as momentum, as the superstar with the most momentum will take advantage and have their action play out. Given an example of this, Jinx went on to confirm 2 additional superstars that have yet to be announced, as Jinx mentioned that he played as Axiom against Wes Lee, with Jinx setting Axiom to shake hands with Wes. However, the action that played out seen Wes attack Axiom's arm, which then led to him starting the match with low health. Based on this, if you're playing Superstar mode and you choose an action, it won't always happen as you choose, as should the opponent choose a different action, then there's a chance that their choice will play out if they have greater momentum. The good news though is players who want full control over the actions and the cutscenes that play, then if you play the classic version of Universe mode that lets you control all aspects of a show, then players will be able to edit the match card and customize both Superstars' actions so that the cutscene they want to see play out does. So this is great news for fans of Universe mode, as this will essentially give you all the tools that you need to create the rivalries you want, as rather than waiting to see if the game generates a cutscene, now you can choose the cutscene that you want and begin a rivalry all on your own. After discussing Universe mode, Jinks went on to talk about the addition of the Survivor Series arena for War Games, as a lot of players had noted that the arena setup was different to the event, as unlike NXT, which recently housed the shark cages behind the crowd, Survivor Series placed the cages on the stage. Speaking on the decision to use the NXT setup, Jinks said that this came down to several factors, one being that he thought having the cages behind the crowd provided a better visual for players, as you can always see the superstars that are waiting to enter. The second reason came down to entrances, as Jinks noted that if the cages were on the stage, then this would cause collision issues with certain entrance motions. Based on this, Jinks decided to use the NXT setup for Survivor Series, as he believed it would be better to have the Survivor Series arena in there for players to use, even if it wasn't exactly as it appeared on TV. One other topic that I want to touch on from the interview is the 2K Showcase mode, as Phoenix asked Jinks about the changes to this year's mode and the decision to have players play against Cena rather than as him. Answering the question, Jinks reiterated what has been said in previous interviews about how the decision was based on John Cena's mantra of never give up, noting that it would be more fun for players to play as different superstars rather than always playing as John Cena. Revealing some new info about the mode, Jinks noted that the 2K Showcase comes with several hidden Easter eggs, though he didn't go on to reveal what those Easter eggs were. Hearing the Jinks tease of Easter eggs, my first thought was that they've added some alternate ending cutscenes like the one we seen when losing to Eddie Guerrero in the Rey Mysterio showcase, and it wasn't too long before that assumption was proved to be right, as shortly after watching the interview, Up Up Down Down premiered a live stream of Showcase mode in which Dakota Kai playing as RVD was defeated by John Cena, leading to a special Easter egg of an alternate ending. This alternate cutscene shows John Cena reacting to a surprise victory over RVD, with Cena then going on to motion "You Can't See Me" and celebrating with the championship, only to be quickly ushered away by the referee. The inclusion of this cutscene is a great addition and one that we'll hopefully see occur throughout the mode, as it's nice to see some alternate endings, though I do think that they could have put a little bit more into this specific one, as despite the real ECW crowd being extremely hostile towards Cena, the crowd in this alternate ending can be seen cheering him on. So that's some of the new information coming via Up Up Down Down and Phoenix Nitro. I'll leave a link to both sources in the video description so that you can check them out in full. Anyway guys, that does it for this video, but let me know what you make of the news in the comments, and if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications to stay up to date with all the latest news on WWE 2K23. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.